There's a fruit sitting right now in the kitchens of millions of seniors across America. It looks harmless, even healthy, but for men over 60, it is secretly destroying testosterone, clogging arteries, and draining away the very strength that makes a man feel alive. This fruit, praised for decades as good for the heart, is actually one of the quietest killers of male vitality, stealing away erections and energy with every bite. I am Dr. Mohit Kara, a urologist who has spent over 30 years helping men restore their health, their confidence, and their intimacy. I have treated thousands of men in their 60s, 70s, and beyond, and I can tell you with certainty the difference between decline and revival often comes down to the small choices we make every day, especially what we eat. Here is the problem: most men never hear, not all fruits are safe. While some protect your circulation and boost testosterone, others do the exact opposite, raising estrogen, spiking blood sugar, and suffocating nitric oxide, the very molecule that powers firm erections. What you thought was helping your health may in fact be taking it from you. That is why in this video I am going to reveal the truth. 4 fruits you should never touch after 60, because they secretly harm your hormones, and 4 fruits you must eat instead, because they restore blood flow, awaken energy, and bring back bedroom confidence naturally. And stay with me until the very end, because the last fruit I will share has helped men reverse years of decline in just weeks, giving them back the strength, vitality, and manhood they thought was gone forever. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of my future health advice designed specifically for men over 60. And if this topic speaks to you, type 1 in the comments to let me know. If it doesn't, type 0, so I can create content that serves you better. Now, let's get straight into the first part. If you're over 60, these 4 fruits may seem harmless, even healthy, but they're silently draining your testosterone, spiking your blood sugar, and weakening your circulation. Let's uncover the truth about the fruits you should never eat again. 1. Grapes, the hidden testosterone trap. When most men think of grapes, they picture a symbol of good health. They're small, juicy, and convenient. You can toss a handful into a bowl, pour yourself a glass of grape juice, or even sip a glass of red wine, and feel like you're making a healthy choice. But here's the truth I've learned after decades of working with older men. For many men over 60, grapes are quietly sabotaging their strength, their drive, and their ability to perform. Let me explain why grapes are one of the most pesticide-heavy fruits grown in America. Unless you are specifically buying organic grapes, you are likely consuming a cocktail of chemicals every time you eat them. These aren't just any chemicals. Many of them are classified as xenoestrogens, synthetic compounds that mimic estrogen once inside your body. Now, think about that for a moment. As men, especially as we age, we are already fighting an uphill battle to keep testosterone strong. And here you have a fruit that appears harmless on the surface, but in reality is flooding your system with fake estrogen that competes directly with your natural testosterone. Over time, that competition is devastating. Testosterone begins to drop, energy slips away, belly fat starts to appear, the prostate becomes swollen, and erections that were once firm and dependable slowly weaken. I have seen this firsthand in my clinic. A patient of mine named Alan, age 67, was eating grapes every single day. He believed he was protecting his heart, but he could not understand why his drive was fading, and why his mornings were no longer the same. When I carefully reviewed his diet, the culprit was hiding in plain sight. We removed the grapes, replaced them with testosterone-supportive fruits, and within just a few weeks, Alan noticed a difference. His energy returned, his mornings grew firmer, and the confidence he thought was gone began to come back. This is not to say that grapes are evil, it's not that simple, but for aging men, even small disruptions in hormones have large consequences. What may not harm a man in his 30s can have a major impact on a man in his 60s or 70s. That is why I tell my patients to minimize or eliminate grapes unless they are certified organic and eaten sparingly. And grape juice, that's even worse. It's a concentrated bomb of sugar and pesticide residue that sends your blood sugar soaring while hammering testosterone further into decline. You see, the body of a 60-year-old man is far less forgiving. Every small hormonal shift matters. Every bit of circulation counts, and the foods that once felt safe can now be the very foods robbing you of strength, intimacy, and vitality. That is the hidden trap of grapes. They look innocent. They taste sweet, but behind the sweetness lies a slow erosion of the very hormones that define manhood. And if you think grapes are the only fruit hiding this kind of danger, you'll want to pay close attention to what's next, because the fruit I'm about to reveal is one that many seniors reach for every single morning. It sits neatly packaged, looks cheerful and convenient, and yet it is doing even more silent damage than grapes ever could. This so-called easy breakfast option is destroying blood flow, crushing testosterone, and leaving countless men wondering why their energy and intimacy have disappeared. 2. Canned fruit cocktails, the senior sweet trap. I can't tell you how many times I've walked into a patient's home, opened the refrigerator, and found stacks of those neat little fruit cups sitting on the shelf. They look so harmless, even comforting. The labels say things like no sugar added, or packed in light syrup, and for many men over 60, they've become part of the daily routine, a quick snack, something easy to chew, something to take with morning medication. It feels innocent, but after 30 years of treating men's health, I can tell you this: those little cups are quietly robbing you of your strength and your manhood. Here's why: the fruit inside those containers is not the same as the fruit that grows on a tree or a vine. It has been peeled, softened, bleached, and preserved to survive months inside a can. What's left is fruit stripped of fiber and swimming in liquid sugar. Even the versions labeled in natural juice are loaded with concentrated fruit sugar that spikes your bloodstream as soon as you eat it, and that sugar spike does more harm than most men realize. When insulin surges, testosterone drops. When arteries are inflamed by sugar, blood flow weakens, and when blood flow weakens, erections fade. I think about Raymond, a 72-year-old man who came to see me feeling exhausted and frustrated. He had been eating fruit cocktails almost every morning for more than a decade. He thought it was a healthy habit, something light and easy to digest, but he couldn't figure out why he felt so tired, why his mind felt foggy, and why his intimate life had disappeared. When I examined his diet, it was clear that Daily Cup was a sugar trap. We removed the canned fruit and replaced it with fresh, low-sugar fruits that actually support male hormones. Slowly but surely, his energy returned, his clarity improved, and intimacy, which he thought was gone forever, began to find its way back. It's heartbreaking to see how marketing has convinced so many older men that these fruit cups are safe. They are not. They are convenient, yes, but convenience comes at a cost. Every spoonful of syrup-soaked fruit is sending your blood sugar soaring and your testosterone sinking. Even the so-called no-sugar added cups are misleading. The fruit inside has already been processed and stripped of its natural defenses. What you're really eating is a chemical-laden snack that looks cheerful but acts like poison to the aging male body. The truth is, your body after 60 simply cannot handle those sudden sugar spikes. They don't just rob you of energy in the moment, they slowly chip away at your circulation, your hormones, and your vitality. And what's most dangerous is how quiet the damage is. You don't feel it happening day by day, but over years, you wake up weaker, heavier, and less alive. That's the trap. It's silent, it's sweet, and it's deadly to the things that matter most to you as a man. And yet, if you thought canned fruit cups were the biggest surprise, just wait until you hear about the next fruit. It's fresh, it's popular, and it's sitting on kitchen counters all across America, promoted as healthy, eaten every day without question. This fruit doesn't come in a can, it comes with a peel. But for older men, it may be killing drive, flattening emotions, and quietly draining away the very spark that makes life worth living. 3. Bananas, the sleepy sugar stick. Bananas are one of the first fruits we learn to eat as children, and for most of our lives, they carry this reputation of being the ultimate healthy snack. They're soft, they're portable, they're inexpensive, and they show up in every grocery store across America. For many older men, grabbing a banana in the morning has become almost automatic, a habit passed down through decades of routine. But here's the truth. I've seen time and time again in my clinic, while bananas may seem innocent, for men over 60, they can slowly drain energy, dull emotions, and weaken intimacy in ways you would never expect. Let's look closer. Bananas are loaded with simple sugars, especially when they're ripe and sweet, the way most people like them. Those sugars hit your bloodstream quickly, spiking insulin almost immediately. And here's what most men don't realize. Every time insulin spikes, testosterone takes a hit. Over time, repeated spikes from daily bananas can push you toward insulin resistance, belly fat, and a sluggish metabolism, all of which make erections softer and harder to maintain. But sugar isn't the only problem. Bananas also have an impact on brain chemistry. They contain tryptophan, which boosts serotonin production. Now, serotonin in the right balance is important. It calms the mind and helps regulate mood, but too much serotonin at the wrong time can leave you feeling flat, sleepy, and emotionally drained. I've had many older patients tell me they felt foggy or unmotivated after eating bananas for breakfast. They couldn't explain why their morning started off in a haze, but once we cut back on bananas, the difference was clear. They felt sharper, more alert, and more alive. One man in particular comes to mind. He was 68, retired, and struggling with intimacy. He ate 2 bananas every morning with his cereal, because he believed it was the smart, heart-healthy choice. But he described feeling tired by mid-morning, and admitted that he had little to no desire for connection with his wife. When I suggested removing bananas for a month, and replacing them with low-sugar, testosterone-friendly fruits, he was skeptical. But within weeks, his energy began to lift. He woke up clearer, his mornings were firmer, and he told me with a smile that his wife had noticed the change as well. This is the reality of aging. Foods that once seemed harmless in your 30s or 40s can work against you in your 60s and 70s. Your body changes, your hormone balance shifts, and something as simple as a banana can tip the scales in the wrong direction. That's why I urge older men to think twice before making bananas a daily habit. They may give you quick sweetness, but they can leave you with a long, slow decline in testosterone, energy, and intimacy. And if bananas surprised you, just wait until we talk about the next fruit. Many seniors turn to it as a healthy replacement for candy, believing it's a smarter choice. But the truth is far darker. This fruit is concentrated, sticky, and sweet. And inside those innocent little bites hides more sugar than a can of soda. It doesn't just weaken testosterone, it can block one of the most vital minerals your body needs as a man. 4. Dried fruits, the sugar bombs in disguise. When most men reach for dried fruits, they do it with the best of intentions. A handful of raisins instead of a cookie, a couple of dates before bed instead of a slice of cake. It feels like a smarter choice, something natural, something less guilty. I've heard it in my office countless times. Doctor, I gave up candy, now I snack on dried fruits instead. And every time I have to deliver the same painful truth, for men over 60. Surety dried fruits are not the safe alternative you've been led to believe. In fact, they may be one of the most deceptive foods you can put into your body. The problem begins with sugar concentration. Drying fruit removes water, but leaves behind all the sugar compacted and dense. That means one small handful of raisins or dates can deliver more sugar to your system than a can of soda. Without the water and much of the fiber to slow things down, that sugar rushes into your bloodstream, causing insulin to spike sky high. And, as I've explained before, when insulin rises, testosterone falls. Over time, this cycle erodes your strength, weighs you down with belly fat, and leaves your erections softer and less reliable. But that isn't the only danger. Many commercial dried fruits are coated in vegetable oils to keep them from sticking together and treated with sulfites to preserve their color. These additives may seem harmless, but they interfere with the absorption of zinc, a mineral absolutely essential for male vitality. Without enough zinc, testosterone production falters, sperm quality declines, and the ability to maintain strong erections weakens further. It's a slow, silent theft of your manhood hidden inside a snack that's marketed as healthy. I think about one of my patients, a 70-year-old man, who proudly told me he had replaced his nightly desserts with a bowl of dates. He believed he was doing his body a favor. Yet he struggled with restless sleep, poor recovery, and fading desire. When we looked closer, the dates were the culprit. That concentrated sugar kept his blood sugar elevated all night long, disrupting growth hormone release and preventing his testosterone from rebounding during sleep. Once he replaced them with low-sugar fresh fruits, the change was dramatic. He began waking up, rested, his energy improved, and the spark he thought was gone began to return. That is the hidden danger of dried fruits. They wear the mask of health, but underneath they are sugar bombs in disguise. For aging men who already face the natural decline of hormones, those bombs hit harder and do more damage. They drain energy, weaken circulation, and chip away at the confidence that every man deserves to hold on to as he ages. So the next time you reach for a handful of raisins, I urge you to pause and ask yourself if this healthy snack is really worth the quiet toll it takes on your body. Because while dried fruits may taste sweet in the moment, the long-term cost is bitter. And now that you know the 4 fruits that silently sabotage your vitality, it's time to flip the script, because there are also fruits, simple, natural, and overlooked, that can do the exact opposite. They can open blood vessels, protect testosterone, and bring back energy and intimacy, even after 60. The first one I'll share has been called the king of circulation, and for good reason. 5. Pomegranate. The king of circulation. If I could choose one fruit to place into the daily diet of every man over 60, it would be the pomegranate. From the outside, it may not look as inviting as an apple or a bunch of grapes. Its thick red skin and messy seeds can feel like too much work compared to peeling a banana. But inside this fruit lies one of nature's most powerful secrets for male vitality. I've seen men walk into my office drained, defeated, convinced their best days were gone, and I've seen those same men, after just a few weeks of adding pomegranate to their diet, come back with a spark in their eyes and strength they thought they had lost forever. What makes pomegranate so powerful? It's packed with compounds called agents, antioxidants, that target oxidative stress and heal the lining of blood vessels. For an aging man, circulation is everything. Your erections don't happen without healthy blood flow, and healthy blood flow doesn't happen without open, flexible arteries. Pomegranate has been shown in research to boost nitric oxide levels, the very molecule that tells blood vessels to relax and expand. This means more oxygen-rich blood can flow where it needs to go, whether that's your heart, your brain, or the parts of your body that make you feel like a man. I remember one patient, a 69-year-old retired teacher, who was hesitant to try anything new. He had been relying on medication for his performance, but the side effects left him feeling dizzy and discouraged. I suggested something simple: half a cup of pomegranate seeds each morning, or a small glass of pure juice with no added sugar. He reluctantly agreed. 30 days later, he came back and told me with a grin he hadn't worn in years that his mornings were stronger, his energy steadier, and his confidence had returned. His wife, he said, had noticed too. This is not just anecdotal. Clinical studies have confirmed what I see in my practice. Men who drank pomegranate juice daily experienced measurable improvements in erectile function, even a rise in testosterone levels. That's not just about feeling better, that's about repairing the underlying systems that make a man healthy and vital. The beauty of pomegranate is that it works gently, naturally, and safely. No pills forcing your body, no risky side effects, just a fruit working in harmony with your biology to restore what time has worn down, and the taste, once you get used to it, is rich and refreshing. A daily reminder that small choices can create big change. I often tell my patients, don't underestimate this fruit. Don't dismiss it because it's less convenient. Every spoonful of those seeds is a step toward healthier arteries, stronger blood flow, and a more confident life. If grapes can quietly drain your testosterone, pomegranate can quietly give it back. But pomegranate is just the beginning, because while it opens up your circulation, the next fruit acts like a shield, guarding your testosterone from damage and calming the very hormone that steals your drive. It's a small, fuzzy fruit that most men overlook, but inside it holds one of the greatest secrets to staying strong and vital well into your 60s and 70s. 6. Kiwi, the testosterone citrus. Kiwi is one of those fruits that rarely gets the attention it deserves. It sits quietly on the grocery store shelf, often overlooked in favor of apples, oranges, or bananas. Many men walk past it without a second thought, not realizing that inside this small fuzzy fruit lies a powerhouse of nutrients designed to protect and restore male vitality. In my 30 years of treating older men, I found that sometimes it's not the flashy superfoods that make the biggest difference, but the humble, forgotten fruits that quietly support the body where it needs it most, and kiwi is one of those treasures. What makes kiwi so special for men over 60 is its incredible concentration of vitamin C. In fact, a single kiwi can contain more vitamin C than an orange. That matters because vitamin C is not just about fighting colds. It plays a critical role in protecting the Leydig cells inside the testes, the very cells responsible for producing testosterone. As men age, these cells come under constant attack from oxidative stress. When they weaken, testosterone output falters, leaving men with less drive, lower energy, and weaker performance. But when those cells are protected, testosterone stays stronger, and vitality lasts longer. Kiwi helps guard those cells like a shield. But that's not the only gift it offers. Kiwi contains a natural enzyme called actinidin, which helps the body digest proteins and absorb nutrients more efficiently. That might sound like a small detail, but as men get older, digestion slows. Even if you're eating a healthy diet, your body may not be pulling in all the zinc and magnesium you need, two minerals essential for testosterone and erections. By improving absorption, kiwi makes sure those nutrients actually get into your bloodstream where they can do their work. I recall a patient in his mid-60s who told me he constantly felt stressed, restless, and unable to sleep through the night. He carried that tension into every part of his life, including his relationship. I suggested he add 2 kiwis to his daily routine. Simple, no pills, no complicated plan. Weeks later, he returned looking lighter, calmer, and more rested. He admitted that his sleep had improved, his mood had stabilized, and he felt more in control of his body again. The secret: kiwi's ability to lower cortisol, the stress hormone that directly competes with testosterone. When cortisol drops, testosterone rises, and men rediscover their balance. The best part is how simple kiwi is to add into your diet. You can slice it, blend it, or eat it whole. In fact, the skin is edible, packed with fiber and extra antioxidants, though most men prefer to scoop out the green flesh. However you eat it, the benefits remain the same. Stronger protection for testosterone, calmer stress hormones, better nutrient absorption, and healthier sleep. For men over 60, every advantage counts. Kiwi may not look like much, but it delivers a powerful set of tools for keeping you strong, vibrant, and connected. It's a reminder that sometimes the smallest changes make the biggest difference. And while kiwi shields your testosterone from stress and damage, the next fruit works in the opposite way. It energizes and activates the very molecule that controls blood flow. Some even call it nature's version of the little blue pill. And once you understand why, you'll never look at this refreshing summer fruit the same way again. 7. Watermelon, nature's Viagra. There's something about watermelon that immediately takes most of us back to warm summer afternoons, family cookouts, and simple pleasures. It's refreshing, it's sweet, and it feels almost too innocent to carry any real power. But what many men over 60 don't realize is that watermelon is not just a summertime treat, it is one of the most potent natural allies for male vitality. I have seen men who struggled for years with circulation, fatigue, and fading intimacy discover noticeable improvements simply by making watermelon a daily habit. It might sound almost unbelievable, but the science behind it is solid. Watermelon contains an amino acid called L-citrulline. Once inside your body, L-citrulline is converted into L-arginine, and from there into nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is the key molecule that tells your blood vessels to relax, open up, and allow more blood to flow through. And if there's one thing every man knows, strong erections are nothing without healthy circulation. What medications attempt to force in an artificial way, watermelon encourages naturally, safely, and without side effects. It's like working with your body instead of against it. I'll never forget a man in his 70s who came to me frustrated and embarrassed. He had tried pills, but the side effects left him with headaches and a racing heart. He wanted something natural, something gentle. I suggested something simple, a generous serving of fresh watermelon each day, preferably on an empty stomach. Within weeks, he told me that his mornings had become stronger, and that his stamina surprised even him. He laughed when he said, "Doctor, my wife is happier than she's been in years." That's the kind of transformation I love to witness. One rooted not in expensive treatments, but in nature's design. Another reason I recommend watermelon is its hydration. As men age, dehydration sneaks up more easily, draining energy and leaving circulation sluggish. Watermelon is more than 90% water, delivering hydration and vital nutrients in one package. Even better, the white rind just beneath the skin, often thrown away, contains the highest concentration of L-citrulline. Blending the red flesh with some of that rind makes a powerful tonic for circulation and energy. Of course, store-bought watermelon juice doesn't give the same benefit. Most brands are filled with added sugar and stripped of the rind, which means you're drinking little more than flavored sugar water. The true power lies in fresh slices or a homemade blend. When eaten consistently, watermelon doesn't just create momentary improvements, it builds lasting vascular health. It strengthens the very system that supports your heart, your brain, and your manhood. It's a reminder that the body still knows how to heal and respond, even after 60. Give it what it needs, and it rewards you with energy, confidence, and intimacy. Watermelon proves that sometimes the simplest foods hold the greatest gifts. but as powerful as watermelon is for blood flow. There's still one more fruit I want you to know about. It doesn't just improve circulation, it shields your testosterone, sharpens your mind, and protects your very identity as a man. It may be small and easy to overlook, but inside it carries the missing piece that so many men have been searching for. 8. Blueberries, the hormone shield. Blueberries may be small, but don't let their size fool you. These tiny deep blue gems carry a kind of quiet power that most men over 60 never truly recognize. When I look back at the patients I've treated over the years, some of the most remarkable improvements didn't come from fancy supplements or complicated regimens. They came from simple, consistent choices, like a handful of blueberries each morning. For many men, it felt like nothing was happening at first, but then slowly their minds became sharper, their mornings firmer, and their energy steadier. That is the hidden strength of this fruit. It works in silence, protecting and restoring the body at its very core. The secret lies in anthocyanins, the natural compounds that give blueberries their rich dark color. These compounds are some of the most powerful antioxidants in nature, and they serve as a shield against oxidative stress, the silent force that wears down a man's blood vessels, dulls his nerves, and damages the very cells that produce testosterone. Think about it this way. Every day your body is battling tiny sparks of damage, and without protection, those sparks turn into fires that erode your vitality. Blueberries step in as your body's cleanup crew, putting out the flames and keeping your system resilient. One of my patients, a 71-year-old gentleman who prided himself on staying active, came to me worried about brain fog. He was sharp all his life, but suddenly found himself forgetting names, struggling with focus, and feeling disconnected. Alongside some other changes, I encouraged him to start his mornings with half a cup of fresh blueberries. He thought it was too simple to make a difference, but after 2 months, he returned with a smile and told me, "Doctor, I feel like my mind woke up again, and my wife says I'm more present with her, too." His story is one of many that remind me how food doesn't just feed the body, it feeds confidence, connection, and identity. But the benefits don't stop with the mind. Blueberries also play a vital role in stabilizing blood sugar, which is directly tied to testosterone health. When blood sugar spikes and crashes, testosterone dips, energy falls, and mood swings follow. Blueberries, with their low sugar content and high fiber, help smooth out those spikes, keeping hormones balanced and energy steady. And when insulin sensitivity improves, testosterone is better preserved, allowing men to feel stronger, leaner, and more capable. What I love about blueberries is how easy they are to include. Sprinkle them into oatmeal, mix them with Greek yogurt, blend them into a smoothie, or simply eat them by the handful. Unlike so many foods that require preparation or discipline, blueberries fit effortlessly into daily life. And over time, those small handfuls build into lasting protection for your testosterone, your circulation, your brain, and your vitality. It's proof that sometimes the smallest things deliver the biggest impact. A few berries can guard decades of manhood, helping you feel sharp, strong, and steady well into your later years. And now that you've discovered all 4 of the powerful fruits that rebuild energy, restore circulation, and protect testosterone, let's bring it all together, because the real transformation doesn't just come from knowing which fruits to eat and which to avoid. It comes from putting this knowledge into practice every single day. Let me show you how to make these changes stick and reignite the strength you thought was gone forever. Conclusion: bring it all together. So, let's bring everything together. If you're a man over 60, the fruits you choose each day are not just about taste or habit. They are about the very foundation of your health, your energy, and your confidence as a man. Grapes, canned fruit cocktails, bananas, and dried fruits may look harmless, even healthy, but as I've shown you, they quietly drain testosterone, disrupt circulation, and weaken the very systems that keep you strong. On the other hand, pomegranate, kiwi, watermelon, and blueberries are far more than just refreshing snacks. They are natural tools, gifts from nature that protect your blood vessels, strengthen your hormones, calm your stress, and sharpen your mind. I've seen the difference firsthand in my patients, men who walked into my office, convinced that age had taken away their vitality, only to discover that with a few simple changes, their bodies still remembered how to respond. One man told me that after removing dried fruits and adding pomegranate and blueberries to his mornings, he felt his energy returning within weeks. Another said kiwi helped him sleep peacefully for the first time in years, and watermelon gave him the kind of stamina he thought belonged only to younger men. These aren't just numbers on a chart, they are real men reclaiming their confidence, their relationships, and their sense of self. And perhaps that's the most important lesson here. Getting older doesn't mean giving up. Your body is still capable of strength, renewal, and intimacy, but you must give it the right support. Every choice, every bite matters more than ever at this stage of life. When you avoid the fruits that harm and choose the ones that heal, you're not just making a food choice, you're making a decision about how you want to live the years ahead, whether in quiet decline or in renewed vitality. So, I challenge you, start today. Replace the fruits that are draining your strength with the ones that restore it. Be consistent, be patient, and trust the process, because your body has not forgotten how to be alive. It's simply waiting for you to remind it. And when you do, you may be surprised to find that your best years are not behind you, but still waiting ahead.